What do a millennial and a pastor from Gen X have in common? Not much, but they love the Lord and they love life. Join us as Justin and Sam look at the lighter side of Bible, church, and life with Making Light of It. And we are back with another episode of Making Light of It. In fact, I believe, according to my count, it is episode number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is...
Ocho.
So, one of my favorite movies growing up, Herbie the Love Bug.
Herbie the Love Bug.
Yep. And
interesting.
So I'm aging everything out here. Mayor Rob, you heard of Herbie the Love Bug?
I have heard of it.
Okay. Do you know what I'm talking about? So it is that classic Volkswagen Beetle from back in the day. It's got the red and blue stripes running across the cream-colored car, and on the front of the car is the number 53.
Yeah.
And during one of the episodes, it runs it. I guess there's the main character. Well, the car is the main character, and then one of the Spanish kids in the show calls the car Ocho.
Okay.
And like the guy's like, "Why you call Ocho?
Why?
5 and 3, 8, Ocho."
Oh, math. Yeah, I would never done that.
Just math, just like that.
Great.
So whenever I hear Ocho, I think Herbie the Love Bug.
Herbie the Love Bug.
And those movies are amazing. Basically, it's a Volkswagen Beetle that has a life of its own.
Yeah.
It's pre-Kit and Knight Rider.
Knight Rider.
Goes through some great adventures. And I know there are people out there, hit me up, that know this movie. These movies, it's a series of movies. I think it might have been Disney movies.
Now I think about it, I think there was a Herbie movie when I was a kid. I think it might have been a Lindsay Lohan movie or something like that.
Oh, yeah. So
a remake of it.
If they remade it, they ruined it. And if they added
the ruined
Lindsay
version.
Lohan, no offense, they definitely destroyed it.
No
This
offense,
movie,
Lindsay.
I have no idea who was in it back in the day. I only know about the car. You go to any Volkswagen Beetle, any Volkswagen, anything really, there will be a Herbie.
Yeah, for sure.
Out there. So, yeah. When I hear Ocho, immediately...
You say Ocho?
Ocho.
You say Ocho.
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 Oh.
I say Ocho.
Ocho.
You say, ooh,
Carne asada.
ooh. Hey, now I'm hungry. I'm hungry for Ocho tacos.
Ask Eliana. That's a pet peeve of mine.
But that...
So roll the R.
Oh.
Ask Eliana. She'll tell you.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear it on the radio, I got me carne asada. I say, no, carne asada.
So therein lies the question. I love Mexican food.
Okay.
And so ordering in a authentic Mexican restaurant, being who I am, I'm always afraid. So I think maybe the reason why I defaulted to tacos is because it says tacos.
It's just easy enough, isn't
And
it?
I don't have to butcher any
Steak tacos, please.
I would like to eat steak tacos.
Do you say chicken or do you say like
cheese.
pollo tacos?
Oh, so whatever's on the thing.
The menu.
But
Gotcha.
I don't do chicken tacos.
Gotcha.
My theory is, so see if this rhymes with your thought process. If I'm going out to eat, I'm going to eat something that I might not have at home.
Okay.
If I'm going out to eat, I'm not buying chicken.
Yeah.
I almost always have chicken at home.
That's a good point.
So if I'm going out to eat, steak.
Yeah.
I want steak.
Yeah.
Steak fajitas. I want steak
Fajitas.
tacos.
Ugh.
I want steak enchiladas.
Oh, gosh.
I want
Cringe.
steak, everything. I'm not paying someone to shred chicken and put it in my food.
I can jive with that.
That
I get
that's
that.
always been my mindset.
I might try to follow
If I'm
that.
going out and I'm going to pay. Plus, listen. Yeah, okay. I'll pay an extra $1 to put steak in my food.
Yeah, sure. Well
And
worth it.
listen, we all know it's not the greatest steak. It's not the finest cut of beef that's coming out of these things. But it tastes so much better than chicken. So I think growing
it's not
up,
chicken.
I always ate a lot of spaghetti and a lot of just chicken and you just plain chicken. Now, having said that, if it's buffalo wings, I'll fork out
All day,
for some
yeah,
buffalo
for
wings.
sure, for sure.
That's another level. It's not chicken, it's buffalo.
It's buffalo.
So
100%.
Obviously.
I think it's funny that you said that about pronouncing the correct terms for your ordering, because I went to a restaurant. It was Greek. And I was going to get a gyro.
No.
Gyro.
Oh,
he said gyro.
You said gyro.
And on the thing it says it's pronounced gyro.
Euro. Yeah.
So I called, and there's a Greek guy, of course, talking to me. I'm like, I gotta say this. I have to do it. So I said, can I get a gyro?
Oh no! Yeah, did it work?
He was happy, man.
He's so proud of you.
I won some points.
Yeah, my
we get you a hero. We
people.
get you a hero.
You
We
come
good.
to the bar mitzvah.
Hey,
So it was
hey,
good.
Rob, you like 25. mustache. You gotta get a mustache. We good. You like bring you a gyro.
We're all going out for euros after this.
I'm getting a gyro.
He's getting a gyro. We're getting euros. Sam is not for rolling the R's. He is not for rolling the R's.
I'm not. Told you that's not where my gifting is. But segue. I have a great gift for you. I have some interesting
gifts.
facts about aeroplanes. and aeronautics. So I saved them here in my phone. Did you know planes are designed to be struck by lightning?
Why?
Because they do get struck by lightning.
Oh,
they said,
gosh.
At least once a year or every 3,000 hours of flight time, a plane is struck by lightning.
That's interesting.
Right?
I wonder if I've ever been on a plane that got
That's
struck
been
by
struck by
lightning.
lightning.
Like, do you know? Like,
My guess
that's
is
interesting.
it's dissipates.
If it's designed for it, I guess, yeah, they have a
Right,
mechanism
they
for it.
prepare for it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I
How
never thought of
bizarre.
that. Don't let me design an airplane because I wouldn't have thought of that. Makes sense. It's always in the air.
Yeah, I mean, lightning is
And
always
right in the
looking
clouds,
for
yeah.
grounding and
Yep.
and all that kind of stuff.
Interesting.
What color is an airplane's black box?
Well, something's telling me that's definitely not black.
It's not black. It's orange.
Orange, really?
It's orange.
So it's noticeable or
the
something? or-
black box is orange, so that when, in case it does end up in an accident, the orange will stick out.
It'll stick out.
More than
Makes
a black
sense.
box.
I get it. But why not just
I know.
change the name
Just
then at that
cut out
point?
the middleman.
There's got to be something with just black box. There's got to be some deeper meaning behind it or something.
Let's say this: it's easier to say black box
Than orange box, yeah.
So you got that, especially if you have to roll the R.
if you have to say it in Spanish.
Orange. Yeah, that would be
Just say it like he said orange.
orange. Right? Is that?
Anaranjado. Anaranjado. It's definitely longer than orange.
And the strength of an airplane's tire can take. So basically, like the whole plane, the number is in here, can just drop and fall out and it won't explode. So they're stronger than just about any rubber that you can possibly think of. I don't have the actual height here. I thought I had it written down. I did not. So you're missing some of the facts to make it fascinating.
Oh, that's just a little homework. That's all.
Oh, so speaking of airports.
Airports. Oh, airports.
This man, Reggie McNeil, wrote a book called Missional Renaissance, Changing the Scorecard of the Church. And in this book, in a segment of his book, he writes that the church ought to be like an airport.
Okay.
So you've been to an airport,
Yeah,
right?
numerous times.
Yeah, we've been to an airport, flown out everywhere. In fact, if I'm going to go somewhere, I want to fly.
Yeah, totally.
I'll deal with the airport stuff and deal with all that.
Yeah.
You know, especially now they have the jams and delays and cancellations. I would almost rather deal with that than drive.
Totally. 100%.
I can't do it anymore. We have friends who are, we'll just call them seasoned, who still feel the need to drive 12, 14 hours in one night to get through something.
It's old fashioned.
My limit is like 2.
Yeah.
Give me 2 hours, I need a break to
I
stretch.
think the longest I've done was like 5 hours driving. Even that was just like, ugh.
I did 14 hours back in the day when I was just early married. Helped my brother move out to Chicago, and I was ready to come home. And I just wanted to see my wife. So
Yeah.
I had great motivation to get home. Now, no offense, honey, still love you even more than I did then.
Taking a
I
plane.
ain't driving 14 hours straight to see you.
I'm going to go quicker. I'm going to take the plane,
Let's
and
see.
I'm going to see you sooner.
Yeah, we'll do the plane. Might take the same amount of time. Just can't deal with it.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of airplanes. So he's comparing the church to an airport.
Okay.
Now, I've heard the church compared to a number of different things. Cruise ships, and that's
ships.
not a good connotation. A church should be like a battleship as opposed to a cruise ship. I've
Okay.
heard a number of these different things. But he talks about the church should be a connector and not a destination.
Okay, yeah.
So when you go to the airport, why are you going to the airport?
You're going to go somewhere else.
Going to get somewhere.
Yeah.
In general. So there is one movie out there. What's it called? Terminal. It's got Tom Hanks in it. And the whole movie is about him just being in the airport.
Stuck at the airport.
Yeah, he's just stuck
Dreadful.
in the airport. Some like passport, enter whatever thing. So we should be looking at churches like an airport, which is a sending station.
Yeah.
All right. So people come to the building to be connected to God, to be connected to one another, to be inspired, to be encouraged, to be healed, to be formed, not so that they can come in and settle down and get comfortable, but so that they can go out and continue their journey,
Yeah.
continue their walk with the Lord. In fact, most of the church's life is lived outside of the building.
Big time.
So we need to be sending people out into their mission field so they can live out their faith with their families, their places of work,
Yeah.
their neighborhoods, and their communities. So I really identify and love this concept
Yeah.
of the church as an airport. And the goal when building the body of Christ, when building a church, so to speak, the ultimate goal, and as someone who works for the church, has worked for the church for a long time, the ultimate goal is not to keep the building operating. Like, that's part of the process. But the ultimate goal has to do with getting people into and then out of
Yeah.
the building.
Yeah.
So that they are coming in, learning, growing, and then going out and helping others do the exact same thing.
Yeah. Get equipped.
That's the bottom line. So, when we think about that kind of thing, we think about, far too often people think of the church as the building.
Yeah.
And we get so stuck on I'm going to church,
Right.
and then we'll see some pastor on Instagram or Facebook, some real he'll be like, people, you are the church. Get out there, go, and like it's some radical new thought.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, God's actually he didn't design buildings. He wants us to be the
It's
church.
everywhere we go. Yeah.
Right. So, when we look at church, and one of the things I love about our church is we look at it as a building.
Yeah.
A building to be used.
Simply that.
And we try not to keep it empty. We got a little problem. One of our buildings had a fire recently. We won't go into too many details.
No
about
need.
that.
No need.
So we're kind of missing out on a big portion of our ministry and
Yeah.
being able to use the building. But the church is equivalent to an airport in that we're constantly looking to send people. And so I sent you
Yeah.
a very popular verse within the church,
Yeah.
Matthew 28:19 through 20,
19 through 20.
and you're going to read it.
Yeah, I'll read it out loud. Starting at verse 19, it says, "Go, therefore, and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. And behold, I am with you always to the end of the age."
So what color are the words in your Bible?
They're black.
They're black. You
Yeah,
don't have a
I don't
red
have.
letter,
And my study Bible is red letter.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love a red letter Bible because these are red letters. Red
Yeah.
letters mean
I mean that's Jesus' words.
that
He's
is
speaking.
Jesus actually talking. And he says, first word, verse 19, go.
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 Command.
He didn't say,
Not suggesting.
he didn't say go to church, which, I mean, we need to.
Part of the process, right? Definitely.
But it's about sending. It's about going out there, going beyond.
Make the
what's-
disciples.
Go out and make disciples. And then we're going out on his behalf. He's sending us out there. And what I love, we're teaching them. And what's that last line? It says,
I am with you always.
I am with you
Always.
always.
What a comfort is that?
It's
That is-
huge. So then we jump over a couple pages, jump a few books, get into Acts 1:8.
Yeah.
And this is where we learn how is God going to be with us?
And it reads here in verse 8 of the book of Acts, chapter 1, it says, "But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the end of the earth."
Again, it's just piggybacking right on this charge to send us out, and the Holy Spirit is going to be with us throughout this whole process. And now, you don't have it, but what color are the letters?
Most likely they're red.
They're red. So he said it. So this is God acting and moving to get us out there doing something, taking our faith and going beyond just the four walls of the church.
I love how he says, too, he doesn't say, you might get my power, or if you, listen to me and stay obedient, you can get my power. He says, you will receive my power, and what are you going to do with my power? You will witness with my power, and where are you going to witness with my power? In Jerusalem, and Judea, and even in the places more despised, in Samaria.
Right.
What? I'm going to talk to these people that I'm we don't associate with?
So let's dive into that a little bit. So when he does talk about, when he starts to pull the map into the equation, and so the first place is what?
Is Jerusalem.
Jerusalem. So our Jerusalem is basically our community.
Yeah.
And what I'm talking about when I say community, I'm not talking about like that little neighborhood that we live in with
Your block.
You know, our block. It's the community of people that you interact with.
Yeah.
Like your coworkers, your social group. That's your community. Yeah. That's the Jerusalem. That's who was there right there at that time. Then after Jerusalem is
Judea.
So now we're looking into our surrounding communities. Judea is a little bit farther out than Jerusalem. It's a whole, now we have to actually go. We have to make an effort to get out there and go do it. So now we're going into our surrounding communities. These are the friends we sometimes meet up with. This is the places that we sometimes go. This is now a new group of people beyond the ones that we interact with on a regular basis that we should be going out and extending the word. Next then, after Judea is
Samaria.
So if you follow through in the book of Acts, and I feel like you probably have notes on this too, the book of Acts is broken down. This verse breaks down the book of Acts.
Right.
The word to Jerusalem, then to Judea, which happens early on. And then we get to Acts chapter 8, and now we're going into Samaria. We're starting to expand. Now Samaria is, now we're taking it to the next step. And Samaria for them at that time was
not very liking.
The Samaritans and the Jews, they
don't really get along very much.
They were not besties. They were.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
It was not a great place to be in. So now we're talking about going into these environments that are not necessarily comfortable.
Like hostile type of environments, maybe?
Maybe even hostile, yeah. So we're going out of the comfort zone. Like we've left comfort so far behind, now we're going out there. Now this could be maybe street evangelism. This could be a missions trip. Maybe we're going overseas to another state. Maybe it's a service project.
Yeah, or maybe it's just a community that is not the most friendly or
literally
safe.
Hostile.
Right,
Like,
literally hostile.
It could be. So we're going out beyond that which we know. And
Yeah.
we're going into the unknown at this point in time. And then it goes to the last part.
The ends of the end of the earth.
The uttermost parts, the ends of the earth, which is pretty easy to translate. It's the world.
Yeah.
And statistically speaking, the gospel has been to all the world.
Yeah.
Now, there are people groups out there who have yet to hear the gospel, and I know there's a lot of ministries out there that are trying to be very intentional about reaching those people groups that have not been intentionally reached with the gospel.
It's a great work.
But did you know that the Bible, the gospel, has gone beyond this earth?
Beyond the earth.
Speaking of flights, speaking of things,
How is that possible?
the gospel, the Bible, actually has been to the moon.
To the moon?
To the moon. That's right.
Okay.
We have brought scriptures to the moon. In 1971, Apollo 14, astronaut Edgar Mitchell carried, check this out, 300 copies of the Bible with him. Now, here's the secret. They were on microfilm.
Okay, all right.
Literally, it's the King James Version. It's about yay big.
Okay.
If you can't see, it is about 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches.
Wow.
Little thing.
Interesting.
300 copies of that brought up to the moon.
Wow.
So there are 300 1.5 by 1.5 Bibles that have been to the moon.
Been to the moon. Not still there, right? Like,
No,
did
they
they
brought 'em
plan
back.
them? They brought them back? Okay.
Brought them back. In fact,
Leave 'em
they're
there
like
for-
on these great displays and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Not that you could read it. It's
Yeah,
the whole
probably
King
not.
James
That's
on the
interesting.
internet,
I get the
internet.
concept. Yeah, it's not readable. Okay, I'll take that.
Can you imagine trying to bring like
Oh
300
my gosh, that's
full
what
King
popped
James
in my
Bibles?
head. I'm thinking of all these
That's-
floating Bibles, how heavy that rocket ship must have been at that point. Like, come on, there's a lot of books in that
Like a
book,
few
man.
extra
There's a lot of
boosters.
pages, dude.
That is a
So,
lot
and he
to
didn't
wait
bring a
on.
floppy disk. He brought a micro disc,
Throwback
right?
right there.
He brought a
Microfilm.
microfilm.
Teeny-
Not even a disc. It's a
Teeny,
film.
teeny, tiny little thing. About the
Wow.
size probably of our memory cards that we put in
Okay.
cameras and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. So
yeah.
I guess that's a good
Interesting.
correlation on that. So the Bible has been beyond.
Beyond, it's been to the heavens.
Beyond.
That is great.
So the big encouragement as we wrap this up is we need to go beyond our comfort zone to share the gospel. And the church it prepares us
Yeah.
to go out and share the gospel. We shared this before. Like, if your Monday isn't different, then you're doing Sunday wrong. Like,
Yeah.
we should be charged up, ready to go, ready to share. Even
Yeah.
if you just share what happened on Sunday with somebody, you're going out there. So
Yeah,
get
that's
out
huge.
there.
If you don't get out of your comfort zone, if you take church as just a building, a place I zip into and zip out at the end of the day, then you're missing out on a whole piece of the pie. If it wasn't for like me speaking personally, it wasn't for me getting out of my comfort zone and doing something else other than just attending, I don't know where I'd be today. Like, I don't know how that's how God worked on my life, and that's how He
Right.
put all these different
Yeah,
puzzle
one of the
pieces
first
together.
things you did, you're like, I need to do something more, and
Yeah.
you started cleaning.
I
around.
said, what's the least I could do? Right? What's the least I could do? I could
Right.
mop. I could
Those-
sweep.
Those toilets look pretty messy.
They look pretty messy.
We found the least that you
And
could
then
do.
next thing you know, not even like the first time, it's Pastor Sal spoke to me, and it's been amazing ever since. But thus to
you.
say, if it wasn't for that step of faith, if it wasn't for taking church more than just a building and saying I'm going to own this thing, and I have a bigger role to play in this, whatever role it is, minor
Right.
to huge. And I need to do that. I need to find what that is. And if it wasn't for taking that step, then I wouldn't be able to do what God has allowed me to do.
And everybody has something. Like we said, like Jesus didn't say, all right, you, James, Peter, Matthew, you go and do
Right.
this. It was a command to all,
For all.
the disciples. We are disciples. We are to go out there.
Everybody has something to give and everybody has something to get, and it's all for the grand and greater purpose of the kingdom of God, and that's what this is for.
Ooh, sign me up for that airplane ticket. I'm ready
Facts.
to go.
No delays, right?
Facts.
Hey, listen, we're okay. We're not okay with being delayed at the airport. Why would we be okay with being delayed in our faith?
Right.
Why would we be okay with just sitting here idle?
If this mic wasn't locked in here, we'd be dropping it, yo.
Justin is on fire.
On fire! Come on, that's the spirit,
Let's
baby.
go.
Yes, let's
go.
not delay
I love
what
it.
we can do. I'm so mad at myself sometimes for delaying so many years what I
so-
could have been doing. You know what I
Right.
mean? Where I could have been now in life compared to if I started then. I mean, I thank God, and I can. He's glorified through my mistakes and things like that. But dude, life would have been just.
You think not only where you would be, but where would other people in your life be had you caught on fire a little bit
Think
earlier? And did
beyond ourselves. How much of an impact have we had on others?
that. Terrified to think about situations like that where my lack of faith, my lack of stepping out impacts other people.
Yeah.
Whew,
Yeah.
that's tough.
Convicting.
Heavy stuff.
Very.
Well, so enough of that. We're going to move on to our next segment.
Fan this
Can you
down.
pause it? All right, good. 3, 2, 1. All right, so let's jump right into we're going to do Would You Rathers today.
I love it.
And I have
Would you
some
rather.
Bible Would You Rathers, or excuse me, Mayor Rob has some biblical Would You Rathers. Why don't you throw us one of those?
Give us some good ones, buddy.
Right, here we go with Would You Rather. Would you rather have seen the Red Sea being parted or Jesus walking on water?
Oh. So let's recap the scenario that we have. The Israelites, Jewish, are being chased by Egypt.
Yeah.
So you have water, a sea in
A
front
sea
of
of
you,
water.
a sea of soldiers behind you.
Yeah.
And then Moses, whoop, and then bam, dry land.
Dry land, dude.
All right. Then we have the other scenario. We have a boat in the middle of a storm. That's exactly where they were at.
Yeah.
And then this shadowy, ghostly figure, like they saw, named, who ends up being Jesus, starts walking towards you on the top of
Yeah.
all this kind of
Oof.
stuff. So one of my great, most favorite stories, actually a message that I preached on the 11 that didn't step out
Okay,
onto
yeah.
the boat. Because what did they miss out on?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you rather have been sunk and saved by Jesus than not have
Then
that
nothing at all.
experience at all?
Yeah.
So where I'm at right now, when I look at this scenario of Jesus walking on water, would I like to see it? Yes. Would I like to experience it? Yes. But only one guy had the faith to step out on that. I'm pretty sure I would still be left in the boat. So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of that to me where I'd be like,
Ooh.
I just don't have. And we're assuming that you've never seen this happen before.
Yeah,
The wall of water.
dude.
I'm in on it.
Yeah.
And now I know it's not like the cartoons where there's
No.
like whale and
Right,
fishes
right,
and
right.
stuff like that, but to see it go whoosh, just dry, unreal. So I'm going Red Sea. parted all the way.
I'm with you. I'm going Red Sea parted all the way. I want to walk on that dry. I want to see what that's like. Like that's just fascinating to me.
Fishes
Are there
around?
flopping there? Like how does the ground feel? Are they sinking in it a little bit?
They're not. It is dry.
It's dry, right?
But then
So straight dry.
You get to the other side, you turn around,
And then
right now there is archaeological digs in the area where they suppose. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Where they literally found wheels of
Chariot
chariots,
wheels, yeah.
Chariot pieces that date back to that
amazing.
time.
The proof of God is there. The proof of
It
God
is
is there.
all over the place. Science does nothing but prove God. People always think there's science and there's God. No,
Nope, a mix.
there's no science
Beautifully.
without God. It is totally
They
cool.
interweave amazingly. But seeing the ghostly figure and the book, I'm a chicken. Not choosing that one. Jesus, I'd love to see in any capacity. I'd probably fail at that capacity. So
See, I'm just afraid of being the guy that didn't step out. All right, Mayor
with
Rob,
you
what do we
there,
got next?
Next one we have: would you rather spend 1 hour in heaven or 1 week with Jesus on earth?
1 hour in heaven or 1 week with Jesus on earth. This is pretty easy for me.
I think I want to hear what you say. I think I'm along the lines of you. But
I want a week with Jesus.
okay.
I want to see the miracles. I want to walk with him. I want to hear his teachings. I want to see the people that follow him. I want to see the people that stop following him after it goes there. The 1 week in heaven, as amazing as it would be,
1 hour.
or 1 hour,
Yeah,
excuse
1 hour.
me, which would be like a millennium.
Yeah, yeah.
What is it?
That's
like
where
a
I'm at.
minute's like 1,000. That 1 hour would only make the rest of my life worse.
You have a good point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna flip.
Okay,
Flip it there.
all right.
Okay. I'm gonna take the 1 hour.
All right.
The 1 week is amazing. It's really hard. How do you choose,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
One, the great point with it's like a millennial anyway, so it's gonna feel like a while regardless. So I'm gonna get more bang for my buck there maybe. But coming back, rather than like my mindset comes back to I'm gonna have so much fire. I'm gonna be dude, I'm gonna come out here and
Okay.
every single minute of every
All right.
second of my life is I seen it. It's like buckle down, brother, because it's coming.
It's more than you thought it
You
could
can go there, yeah. Like I seen it with my eyes. Like
Okay, I
that's
see.
my view. Like yeah, I definitely get it. I'm gonna come back and be like, dude, why did I just leave
Justin,
that?
like super selfless. I'll take a little bit of heaven so I can come down here and bring more people with
I'm
me.
gonna bring you the kingdom.
Meanwhile,
Come on,
I'm
guys.
like, my life stinks now. Brother,
Dude, this is terrible. What is this? This doesn't look anything like I just saw.
I can see these are streets of blacktop. Where's the streets of gold?
Coming back with a positive note. Listen, I seen heaven.
That's
Let's
a good
go.
point. Okay, I get that perspective on that. I understand that. All right, go do the last one.
One more?
there, Rob.
All right, one more.
Finish out with that.
Would you rather eat like Daniel, vegetables only, or Elijah and the widow with bread only?
Man,
So,
I like me some pan, man.
so what?
Pan.
Bon
Bread.
bread.
Pan. It's pan, right?
Pan.
But it's pronounced pan.
It's not. It's bread. So, yeah. Little side note, and maybe I'll dive into this a little bit. The vegan diet,
Yeah.
vegetable only diet, is lacking many things. Most people who are vegan vegetable have to substitute with a number of different things. We can go
Yeah,
into
yeah.
the science of that, but it generally is you have to be very intentional to try to get all the nutrients out of vegetables only and all that kind of
Right.
stuff. I won't dive in. I won't blow people up. This is spurred on by my wife, by Joyce, who said, she told me one time, I think one of the miracles of the Bible we're missing out on is that Daniel was completely healthy on a vegetable only diet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it didn't have all the pills and all the science behind
That's
that.
right,
But to
yeah.
be physically healthy and get stronger
And be
on
friends with
just a
lions.
vegetable only diet back then,
Yeah.
that had to be a miracle of God.
That's very true.
Having said that, give me that bone. No, bread all day long. There's
How you
only
say it? How you say it?
Bone. Right? That's
Bon.
totally good. Bon.
That is a real.
That is a
I'm on
real
it.
boom.
So I'm going bread all day long because all I
Yeah.
can see is
Yeah.
like peas and vegetables. Like,
Yeah.
no.
To ask my mom wasn't my thing. Vegetables. You can
wasn't.
ask mom to this day. She asked me what did you have? I had this. I had that. Where's your vegetable? Non-existent, Mom. I had bread. Okay. I'm taking bread. Jesus said he's the bread of life. Come on. He used one of the best foods to describe himself and the ministry. Come on, bread. Give me bread.
Let's go. Plus, Am I with Elijah during this time? Because Elijah's my man.
That's a
Elijah's my
double
dude.
yes
I
right
love
there.
Elijah. So breaking bread with Elijah, I'm all in on
Let's
that.
do it.
All right, so that's it. That's enough. So what did you learn today, Justin?
I learned that you need to work on your pronunciation of ban.
Bon.
Ban.
Bon.
He's putting like a B in there. Bone.
Oh, no.
It's not a bone.
Bon.
It's
Bon,
pan.
bon.
Pan.
Pan.
You can
See,
say, I'll give you a pass to say pan.
I'm hearing bonbons.
Yeah,
That's all.
no,
I hear.
it's bon.
Bonbons. Mayor Rob,
Some
what did
bonbons
you-
over there. I did learn that the Bible, the gospel, was brought to the moon.
Yes, there you
Yeah.
go. The Bible's brought
fun
to
fact.
For a split second there, he's like, I learned the Bible.
So,
Podcast done. Like, our
we did our job.
Our mission
We did
is accomplished, ready to go.
what do you got, Sam?
So I learned today that Mayor Rob calls Greek restaurants with the proper pronunciation.
Yeah,
How much
you have
better is that?
you have the courage to call the Greek restaurant
And
order
in their native tongue.
in their native
What can I
tongue.
say?
That is brave.
That is great. You're a courageous
right
guy.
point.
I love there's a good Greek restaurant right around us.
Mm-hmm.
But guarantee you eat that, you are going to be smelling like that garlic. Oh,
Yeah,
you're feeling it.
that's a
So
good
It is
point.
not a great dinner if you're planning on smooches later. I'm just
Yeah.
telling you right there, Mayor Rob, when you're going out there looking for your girl, that's not a smooching dinner.
Yeah,
okay?
no. Especially if you get the lamb. Don't take it from someone who's at the lamb.
Listen.
It's good though.
Let's cut this thing up before we get ourselves in trouble.
Oh, yes.
This has been another episode of Making Light of It. I'm Sam.
I'm Justin.
God bless. Thanks for listening to another episode of Making Light of It. Please connect with us on Instagram and Facebook. You can find the links in the description of this episode. We would love to hear from you. Please feel free to email us at makinglightofitpod@gmail.com. And remember to like, share, or subscribe so you'll be notified when the next podcast is uploaded. Thank you, and as always, God bless.